Doug.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu? Is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Broadcasting from the intersection of chaos and more chaos. The Last Show with David Cooper.
My goodness, it is Therapy Thursdays on a Wednesday, on a Monday, and we are joined by therapist Gary Direnfeld to talk the upcoming new year. But first, Gary, welcome to the show.
Great to be with you yet again. I guess this is the last one of the year.
It would appear to be that way. And happy in betwixtmas, that awkward time between Christmas and New Year's where you're not sure if the world exists. Like companies, like you kind of have to go to work unless you took the whole time off, but half the people aren't there. Nobody knows quite what to do. Everyone's getting ready for the new year. Everyone's decompressing from the holidays. Who knows what's happening?
So first of all, you're talking to a guy who is retired. So time doesn't have much meaning for me. Having said that, my life is still somewhat structured. I do volunteer work. I'm in touch with other people.
Wait, didn't you win some Volunteer of the Year award? Let's take a minute to celebrate that. Gary, I know you're too humble, but some hospital gave you an award for being a good dude?
South Lake Health, that's the regional hospital that's in Newmarket. And I received a champion award as one of the volunteers as a patient experience partner. And I was shocked, actually.
My friend. And well, congratulations on your volunteer award. But yes,
thank you.
Retirement is sort of like in betwixtmas for life, I guess.
Right. So let me come back to this.
Okay.
I'm retired. I have nothing but time on my hands. And yet, in the last week, I lost a day. It was all of a sudden Saturday, and I didn't know where Friday went. So this in-between mix, I don't even know the...
In-betwixtmas.
Only you. In-betwixtmas. I got all befuddled, and I lost a day in there.
I'm sorry to hear that. Where did the day go? Nobody knows. This is now a murder mystery show. Where did the day go?
Honest to goodness. So maybe there is something about this in-betwixtmas where we are twiddling our thumbs and the time just kind of slips away. Maybe it's the Christmas hangover.
Mm-hmm. It's the Christmas hangover and the anticipation of New Year's, which most folks get off. So it's like, it's this weird time, December 26th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 30th, 31st. Who knows where this time goes?
Yes, and if you are working, are you really working?
Exactly. You know, like you just had some time off. You're going to have more time off probably, or you got paid overtime and that scrambles your brain. Like, you know, it's a weird time of year.
It's a weird time of year.
Mm-hmm.
Say it again. What's it called?
In-betwixtmas. I'm not sure I named it. Our foreign correspondent, Tony Five, who was on the show earlier today, told me about it, and now I'm all about it.
He is such a great guy. We have been texting back and forth, by the way.
Good.
He is such a great guy.
Now, in betwixtmas, I will say the one thing to do during this time, because you've got it, is to plan your New Year's resolutions if you choose to make them. Now, I believe you're a poo-pooer of New Year's resolutions.
You're coming up with the best of lines. Yes, I am a poo-pooer and I'm a therapist. Why would you leave everything and put all your money on, black number 7 and roll that dice. I'm mixing
Spin
my
the wheel, yeah. Because
Yeah,
it always
spin the wheel.
turns up black number 7, right? Isn't that how roulette works? I
Why
don't know.
would you spin the wheel? Like, if you want a change in behavior, I don't think it's a good idea to put all the weight on one day in one particular month.
Agree.
It's a lot of pressure.
Agree. Having said that, I've had incredible luck with New Year's resolutions.
You're the winner. You're the one who gets lucky number 7.
Well, it's not by accident.
What is your strategy?
Here's something I'm not going to do this year, but I have done in previous years. Start your New Year's resolution on February 1st. So out the gate, the pressure is gone. You haven't told all your friends, I'm going to quit drinking. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to write more, whatever it is. You haven't put all this pressure on this day.
Let me guess. And the resolution is to no longer procrastinate.
Okay, if that's your resolution, maybe start on January 1st. But it just takes the pressure off. If you're really committed to this thing, why does it have to be that day, okay?
Exactly. But that's my point. If you really want to change a behavior, change the behavior. Start right now, for crying out loud.
That's my other strategy. So my goal 2 years ago was to floss twice a day, okay?
Okay. That's a reasonable goal.
And I started on December 31st, and I've been flossing every day for almost 2 years, except for the one day I got vertigo and couldn't get out of bed. We forgive myself for that, which we'll come back to later. Okay, that's a silly New Year's resolution. In 2020, my New Year's resolution was to do everything I possibly could to get a job in commercial radio. I still hadn't had my first job in commercial radio.
Okay.
Rigid routine. I made a spreadsheet where I listed things I could do that day, like reach out to this person, practice that, record a demo, edit a demo, send out a demo, apply for a job, go to a networking thing, try to get a guest appearance on someone's show, whatever it was. And I listed like 20 things that I could do on a given day. And I had to do them 5 days a week, okay? And I had a spreadsheet. So what am I saying? You have to have a rigid routine where it's measured. And so I kind of measured my tasks, and I had a column for every day, and it would go green if I put something in.
And those, by the way, are typically the most successful of resolutions, where you do have a plan, it is objective and measurable.
And implement streaks. And so I had to do it every week. And so, I've done it this week, 2 week, 3 week.
What do you mean streaks?
Like a running goal. Like, when you're playing a video game and you win 10 times.
Oh, you're on a streak. Okay. All right. That was a weird word for me for that. Okay, but I'm following.
Implement a streak, have some running total that keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger, the number of days you do it. Now, notice what I said, 5 days a week I had to do something. Well, that gave me 2 days off. Well, if I missed a day, don't go all fatal and, I've ruined the resolution. No, next week you can do 6 days to make up for the missed day. So
you can make up for it. All right. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like how I'm dieting these days.
If it's run 15 minutes every day, then okay, if you miss a day, tomorrow you got to run 30 minutes.
Yes.
Just have a way to make up for missed days so that you don't get into this mindset of, I didn't brush my teeth today. I didn't write today. The New Year's resolution is ruined, and make sure the tasks are doable. So rigid routine, implement running total streaks, have a way to make up for missed days, and make sure the tasks are doable. It's not climb Everest. It's something you can do every day.
Right. There, if our listeners are going to follow your advice and they want to up the likelihood of this being successful, there are a couple of other things, add-ons that they can do. And one is to have social support. So don't do this in isolation. Or if it is something that it's not a shared activity, how many other people are going to be looking to get a show on radio.
I did get my first paycheck for doing a fill-in in August of that year, just saying.
That's amazing. If it's to quit smoking, if it's to lose weight, if it's this kind of goal, it can be helpful to many people to actually share that information with someone else and do it as a team.
Sure. And the last thing I'll say on New Year's resolutions, Gary, before we go to break, Never, ever, ever join a gym. Just pay the entry fee. And if you go to the gym 5 times and you actually show up, pay to go each time. On the 6th time, fine, buy a membership. But just pay to enter. I know it seems more expensive. I know they're going to try to trick you into buying a membership, but who knows if you're going to use it. Just go and pay whatever the fee is to go.
Pay whatever the daily fee is.
Yes.
And do that day by day to make sure that you get truly connected and you're going to follow through with this.
Then waste your money on a membership. At that point, it won't be wasting it. But don't pay money up front on the promise that you'll do something that you haven't done to date.
The gyms love that.
Yes, it's how they make money.
They look at you and they say, you are an annuity to me. I will be making money off you for months to come.
ARR, annual recurring revenue. This is what the gyms want on their books. Okay, we're here with Gary Direnfeld. When we come back, we're talking the new year, and one of the most exciting things about January is that divorce filings go up that time of year. Why? That is the question. We'll have the answer for you in a minute.
At Sierra, discover top workout gear at incredible prices, which might lead to another discovery. Your headphones haven't been connected this whole time. Awkward. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
It is mental health's only... what am I saying? It is the only mental health specific broadcasting content intended for a Thursday that airs on a Wednesday that happens to be airing on a Monday. It's Therapy Thursdays on a Wednesday, on a Monday. Very confusing. We are talking the new year where divorce filings appear to go up in January. Why and what to do about it? Gary Direnfeld is here to discuss. Gary, we went from uplifting resolutions. Now we're going to even more uplifting divorce.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Well, no one wants to initiate a divorce in December. No one wants to be the Grinch who stole Christmas by announcing, and I'm leaving you. And so the divorce filings go down. However, activity at court actually goes up leading to December. These are the already separated parents duking it out over the parenting plan. Who's going to see the kids when over Christmas time? But for those contemplating divorce, they just want to get through it. They don't want to spoil Christmas for the kids or extended kin. So they actually do their best to simply fake it and hold it together. Come January, I don't need to fake it. I don't need to hold it together anymore. And the other thing that happens in January is the financial accountability. Everything that you spent leading into Christmas, the bills are coming home to roost. So there is more stress. There's more pressure. I don't need to hold myself together for the relationship. And people start contemplating and seeing divorce lawyers.
Imagine that's where you are right now. How do you even go about that? Like I asked a friend, I was like, do you know any good divorce lawyers who was an attorney themselves? That's how I found my lawyer. And she was pretty good. I don't know. She was all right.
There are so many different, and people don't realize this. There are many different approaches to divorce. Some people think my ex is going to be nasty. I better hire a real rough and tough pit bull of a lawyer. But here's the thing. If you do that, if you hire a fighter, you are already setting the gears in motion for a fight. Just because you don't get along in your marriage or your relationship doesn't mean divorce has to be World War III. You don't need War of the Roses. I tell people to look for those, if you want a lawyer, look for those lawyers who have been trained in either mediation or something called collaborative family law. These are lawyers who have additional training so that rather than running to court to resolve a problem, rather than castigating the other parent or partner in order to make yourself look good, they say, hey, how are we going to resolve this as a group? How are we going to resolve this amicably? And, how you start is typically how you end. So if you start rough and tumble, you're likely going to have quite a time of it. And in fact, I've read, in my role as a social worker, so many of those initial lawyer letters that sound like a blame and shame extortion letter. You have to know if you're on the receiving end of that, what are you going to do? you're going to respond in kind. You're going to be defensive and then offensive. Versus the kind of lawyer that says, let me pick up the phone, let me phone the lawyer for the other side, or let me, bring your partner in so maybe we can have an opening discussion about how to go through this. Now, the same lawyer can't represent both persons, but the same lawyer can discuss the options for how to proceed. Okay? So to find a lawyer who's going to go about this not in a conflicted, needing to blame way, but in a way to how to resolve your problems, they typically have better outcomes.
When I worked with my lawyer, she was really great, very much that collaborative attitude, standing up to me, making sure my understanding was correct around fairness.
Yes.
You want someone who's not cruel because, if you start that way, it's going to end that way, and that's not fun. Isn't the whole idea like working this out reasonably and it not escalating to court, hopefully settling out of court? It's different jurisdiction to jurisdiction, but like the jurisdictions I have knowledge of, which is Ontario, where I grew up, California, where I lived, New York, you can do this collaboratively. It might not be fun, but it doesn't have to be everything mediated by a judge. Correct. And also, when you do that, legal fees go up, right? I mean, litigation's expensive.
Absolutely. Very expensive. So find those lawyers that, like I say, have that additional training in mediation or collaborative law. If you Google collaborative family law and your city, town, state, or province, you will find websites where persons who practice in this manner are kind of aggregated. So you can go through their lists of members and find someone in your locale and have a conversation with them. The other thing about collaborative law specifically is these are persons who are trained to work with mental health professionals, family professionals, and financial professionals. So the lawyer recognizes they don't need to be the expert in everything. And if they bring in these, if you will, sub-experts or other experts, it can be cheaper working with them than with the lawyer. So, so a couple can meet with the collaborative lawyer and they'll say, look, here's your business holdings, here's your finances, et cetera. Let's bring in a financial professional to figure out how to share this between yourselves in a way that you retain as much money as possible. There will be an obligation for child support in your situation. There will be an obligation of spousal support in your situation. But let's discuss where that should be and how it should be paid out over time so that you're retaining as much of your money as possible. So by bringing in these third parties with the specific expertise, we can actually save you money versus the lawyer taking on responsibility for all of it. Same with the parenting issues. Let's bring in a social worker to help you understand what your kids are going through, how to resolve these issues, how to set up the time between each of you and the holidays, versus a lawyer who's an expert at law, but not an expert in family and parenting.
I do feel like most divorce lawyers end up having to play the role of therapist, even though they're not trained for it. So it's good to talk to an outside professional who isn't just your lawyer as well.
Right. So, so sometimes involving these other professionals can help the process go more smoothly at less of a cost. So if you're contemplating divorce this month, don't run to a pit bull. Run to someone who's reasonable and who's going to hold you accountable if your thinking is actually misguided or wonky.
Having been through the process, that is extremely valuable. And if you can't see that, like if your divorce lawyer tells you you're thinking the way you're approaching this is off, and you think the lawyer's wrong, you got to look in the mirror and make sure that you're not vindictive. You're not.
Yes. Now, David, I hear from folks that tell me, but my ex is so nasty. They're awful. I need a pit bull. No, you need a smart lawyer. And a smart lawyer still isn't going to look to escalate things, but manage things reasonably. If this matter goes to the court and you have the pit bull on the other side, the reasonable lawyer is going to say, you know what, Your Honor, we've offered this, 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 and this. And the other side just keeps coming back because you'll see the pleadings. keeps coming back with nonsense, throwing stuff against the wall, none of which is there's any factual data to support it. So those pit bulls can actually undermine one's case in the long run.
I guess at a high level, even when things look nasty and it's not a great period in your life, you don't have to behave like a jerk.
Correct. Always take the high road.
Gary Direnfeld, a social worker, a therapist, happy in betwixt miss this awkward time between Christmas and New Year's. This was Therapy Thursdays on a Wednesday, on a Monday. Gary, thanks again.
Great to catch up, David.
My name is Jordan, and I'd like to invite you to join me on The Canadian Gothic, a podcast covering stories of Canadian crime, mystery, and the offbeat. The Canadian Gothic blends the spirit of late-night talk radio with the depth of a documentary film and applies that approach to both developing stories and historical cases. So if you're drawn to the dark, mysterious, and offbeat, search for and subscribe to The Canadian Gothic wherever you find podcasts.
You are listening to Canadian Gothic.